If you're still scavenging ship components the old way in Star Citizen 4.5, you are doing it wrong. Let me show you the new method. The old approach stopped working because of a major gameplay change and engineering introduction in 4.5 patch. This method lets you disable enemy ships properly and farm components just like before. So let's jump straight into the gameplay section. Today I'm gonna fly my SHIV because it has 6 pilot controlled weapons, which is perfect combo for what I need to properly disable ships and take the components. Here is how I like to reorder my equipment by using a personal storage inside my ship. Usually I put my SRT tool all together with Cambio canisters in my ship storage and use Max Lift tool for transferring components. Later on, if I need SRT to repair my ship, I just grab it from ship storage. Now I'm going to show you the best mission for farming size 2 components so you can upgrade your ship. Open your Mobiglass, switch to the Mercenary tab and look for the Combat Gauntlet number 5 mission. Why this mission specifically? Because you will find 2 ships there that have everything you need to fully equip your ship with military components. The next thing you need to do for all of this to make sense is to add distortion weapons to your ship's loadout. Yes, distortion weapons are important again. You have 2 options. The size 3 distortion cannon Sucker Punch XL, which you can buy at multiple locations across Stanton, or the size 3 distortion repeater DR model XJ3, which can only be purchased at Center Mass in New Babbage on Microtech. Either option will allow you to disable enemy ships without destroying them, which is exactly what we need for component scavenging in 4.5. What you need to know is that there is a significant changes to almost all components and things are now different than in 4.4 patch. Military components is what you want to have in your combat ship right now. They are some sort of a meta, I would say, regarding component health pool, which is really important because of engineering gameplay that is introduced in this patch. If you want to survive longer, you will want to have components that have a lot of HP. Later on, we will jump to DPS calculator where I will compare stock components with the ones I will scavenge today so that you can see the difference. So today I'm gonna farm size 2 components just to show you the right way to do it and make sure that your ships you want to disable don't blow up. In previous patches it was easy to recognize when enemy ship is in the soft dead state. In 4.5 that is not the case anymore, so it is very easy to destroy enemy ship, instead disable it, what we actually want to do if we want to scavenge the components. Now that you know why this video exists, let's get back to the action. If you've been paying attention, you probably noticed that I first use all my weapons to strip the shields of this Freelancer miss. Once the shields are down, I switch to distortion weapons only and keep an eye on its EM signature until it drops to 0. That's when the ship is fully disabled. The next important thing you need to know is that you can no longer open ship doors manually like before. Because of that, you have 2 options. You can shoot the doors using your ship weapons, just like I did here, or you can use handheld weapon, but be aware that can take a while. Now I'm going to position my ship for easier component transfer, and after that I'm heading inside. Here's another important change you need to know about. Component bay doors can no longer be opened like before. So now I'll show you exactly what you need to do to access the components. First, we have to eliminate the pilot. Why? Because we need to sit in the pilot seat and unlock the ports by pressing right Alt plus K on your keyboard. Once you do that, you'll see the message ports unlocked. This means we can now remove the components, but in order to access them, we first need to open all exterior doors, because doing so will also open the component bay doors. We do this by pressing the Open Exterior button. Look here. You can clearly see the component doors opening. I have this button bound to my joystick so I can quickly open all ship doors without having to search for the button inside the cockpit. Now we can start removing the components and transferring them to our ship. I'll start with the Maelstrom Powerplant, and this ship actually has 2 of them. I'll explain very soon why that's important, because this is another big change introduced in patch 4.5. Maelstrom is a military grade C powerplant with 750 HP, and it's definitely one of the components you want to get. Next up are the Arctic coolers, fantastic units with 46 cooling efficiency and 490 HP. I highly recommend them, although I'll show you even better coolers that we'll be farming on the next ship. Full stop shields are something you absolutely want to farm in patch 4.5. They are now among the best size 2 shields in the game when it comes to shield pool, which is 9240 HP, a value currently exclusive to military shields. The component itself has 580 HP, which is also very solid. We all know that for size 2 shields we used to go for Rampart, but that shield has been heavily nerfed and Full Stop is now far superior. The only area where Rampart is slightly better is the component HP, but overall Full Stop clearly wins. Crossfield is another excellent military grade C quantum drive and easily top tier choice. It has 660 HP, making it a third strongest quantum drive in terms of component durability. As you can see, it can sometimes be tricky to remove, but be patient, it will come out. Now, regarding the second power plant, since this mission is still active and I haven't destroyed the ship yet, if I want the mission to continue, the ship must be fully destroyed. In patch 4.5, you can no longer do that if you remove all power plant components from a ship. Why? Because full ship destruction is triggered by a power plant explosion. Since I want to complete this mission, I'm going to leave one power plant inside the ship. Of course, you can take both power plants and simply abandon the mission, but I want the next wave to spawn because the next ship has components I also want to loot. So remember this, if you remove all power plants from a ship, you will not be able to destroy it. I usually target the power plant directly if I know its exact location, and I often use precision mode for that. Even then, it can sometimes take a while for the ship to be destroyed. That's most likely because once the power plant enters the critical state, the ship gets around 90 seconds before it fully explodes, giving players a chance to remove it. Because of that, ship destruction can sometimes take 1 or 2 minutes, so don't be surprised if it doesn't blow up immediately. As you can see, mission is now continued and the second wave of ships will come. In second wave you will again have Freelancer Miss, Zebra Raven I think, and Vanguard Harbinger. I suggest that you destroy or disable Freelancer Miss first, since his missiles can be deadly. After that, I always leave the ship I want to disable the last. In this case, this is Vanguard Harbinger, a ship you definitely want to loot since it has all military components inside which you can get for free. I have skipped the section with Freelancer and Raven, and here I am trying to disable Vanguard. Here I just want to mention that I really like to use Toby Eye Tracker 5 in Star Citizen, which is now on 20% sale, so if you are interested there is a link down in the description which you can visit, and in case you decide to buy one, you will help me and this channel. Thanks, and let's get back. My hull is already red, as we can see. I will repair that later. The shields are down and Vanguard's hull is also red. Now I have decided to use distortion weapons only as a precaution so I don't destroy the Vanguard. We can see his EM signature is going down, which means I will soon completely disable the ship. And the ship is disabled. Now another important thing. In this case, Vanguard's back door is already opened. If it was closed, you would need to shoot it with your ship guns to open it. I will give you another tip here. Vanguard has another door just behind main one. I suggest you open it with your ship weapons. It is much easier than shoot it with a handgun or rifle. I usually use precision mode for this. I will need to readjust a bit since my weapons are on top of my ship. And the door are opened. Now it's time to get inside. Here we have another door that needs to be opened. Use your handgun and make sure to shoot somewhere around the lock, since the door doesn't register bullets on the entire surface. Here you can see an example. When I shoot around the door, you don't see the hit marker at all. So shoot here around the lock and it will open. Once we are in, shoot the pilot because we need his pilot seat to unlock the ports. Again, you need to press right Alt plus K on your keyboard, and when you see ship ports unlocked message, you need to open exterior doors to be able to access the components. And now we can start with taking the components to our ship. First I will take the Jaeger second best military grade B quantum drive, which have 750 HP and have decent quantum speed. Not easy to take it out, but you will do it after a few times. After that I will take Secure Shield, which are military grade D shields and are also a very good upgrade comparing to a lot of stock shields that are coming with our ships. Again, it also have 9240 HP pool like every military shields, but have slower regen time and less component HP comparing to full stop shields. They are still awesome option comparing to stock ones. And now the coolers, also not easy to pull out, but they are worth it. Permafrost are again second best military grade B cooler by cooling performance and component HP, so I highly recommend them. I left the power plant inside the ship because I needed to destroy the ship to finish the mission, but also wanted to see if it's possible to get it out later on from the shipwreck. Power plant inside this Vanguard is a turbo drive military C component with great cooling efficiency and 750 HP, and it is highly recommended for using it in your ships. Later we will see can I pull it out from the Vanguard shipwreck, but now let's jump to DPS calculator to see the new stats of our looted components. Okay, first let's check the shields. I will use size filter for size 2 components. Now let's sort them out by maximum HP pool. Here you see that max HP pool is 9240 for all military shields, and our secure shield and full stop are among first two of all size 2 shields. Let's sort them by the component health. Here you see full stop on 4th place with 580 HP, which is pretty good for a free shield. Now let's check our power plants. Let's filter only size 2 components. I will sort them by the power generation units, and you see that our turbo drive and maelstrom have 20 power generation units out of the maximum 21, which is pretty good. Now let's check the health, and we see they both have respectable 750 health points. Let's go to coolers and display only size 2 coolers. If we sort them by the cooling power, we can see that our permafrost and arctic coolers have 46 cooling power out of maximum 50, which is really great since coolers finally play important role in our ships. Let's check them by the health, and 2nd and 4th place, very good. Now let's go to quantum drives and sort them out by component size. By the max speed we can see that Jaeger is pretty high on the list, while Crossfield is a bit lower but still pretty fast, and by the health we can see them on the 2nd and 3rd place. Again, for the free components this is pretty amazing. Finally, I will now show you my SHIV loadout made completely from today's looted components. First, let's install the distortion weapons instead ballistic ones. Now I will change the shields with full stop shields for more shield health pool. Now let's change current power plant with 18 power units for maelstrom with 20 power units and more component health. Next I will replace the coolers with permafrost, which will give me more cooling power. And for the quantum drive I will use Jaeger because it has more health and it's a lot faster. Now let me show you how I manage my power with this new military upgrade on my ship. Here you go. Decent cooling with full shields, almost full weapons and decent maneuverability. So, we've learned that in 4.5 things work a bit differently when it comes to component scavenging, but it's still absolutely possible. The main problem I'm seeing right now are single-seat ships like the Sabre and Gladius. They have great components, but I wasn't able to open the cockpit to unlock the ports or access the components door, which means these ships can be looted at the moment. If you found a way to loot ships like the Gladius or Sabre, please leave a comment. I would really like to hear your experience. Another important change is that soft dead basically doesn't exist right now. I tested this multiple times by trying to soft dead a Constellation Taurus with my Corsair without using distortion weapons, and every single time the Taurus exploded. And if you're still watching, then you can see I can even pull out components from destroyed Vanguards. You just need to wait for the wreck to stop spinning. If this helped you understand the new scavenging method in 4.5, make sure to like the video, it really helps the channel. Until I see you in the next one, stay safe in the verse, and as always, may the force be with you.